I'm Tom.
I'm Will.
And we're brothers, as you can probably tell, and we're contractors and farmers from we cover Essex, Cambridgeshire and Hertfordshire with the farming, and then we do digestate spreading as well, where we have various contracts out of AD plants, applying a service to farmers across more counties than what we just listed, to growing crops or crops before they emerge.
Today we're drilling oilseed rape with a Cultivation Solutions rapid lift and a 6 metre Vadastad drill. Legs are in probably about 7-8 inches, 12 legs across the 6 metres, pulling it with a 620 Quadtrack. Knows about it, to be fair, after the year we've just had with a lot of rain, compaction of the soil, and now we've just had combine over the field, balers, chasers, and they've made a bit of a print, and then it's sort of heated up and it's all dried off on top, and it takes a bit of pulling. We tried to pull it with one of our 939s and wouldn't have it. Weighted up as well, 2.5 ton on the front and a ton on the wheels, let down to bar pressure on each of the tyres. So we had to go and get the Quadtrack, and that's doing the job. It does know about it though.
So basically what this machine is here at the front we've got low disturbance points on the rapid lift, and these are spaced at 500 mil apart, and then what we do is, these are in the ground sort of 8 or 9 inches. Then we've got the discs just trying to create a bit of tilth, leveling boards up out the way because the trash blocks it. And then what we do is we have, like, this disc will be open one side the leg and the other one will be the other side the leg. So you put 2 rows down the side the leg, and then the next 2 are blocked off, so you're not drilling between, so the roots can go down behind the leg, which hopefully allows the crop to take up all the nutrients it needs and put a root down in case you have a dry spring. We've been using this system for the last sort of 3 or 4 years. We tried direct drilling rape, but we found that it wasn't putting a root down, and you were getting more of like a fangy type root that was going sideways instead of down, and we found a reduction in yield. We had some fairly varied rape crops this year, so we grew hyaluronic acid rape over at a block in North Essex near Thaxted. We had yields from 3 tonne a hectare average in a field to 4 tonne a hectare, and our average came out at 3.4 tonnes a hectare. But the reason we grow the hyaluronic acid oilseed rape is because the contract that we have with Harlow Agricultural Merchants is £225 a tonne above the base price of oilseed rape. So this year we sold our oilseed rape. We managed to get a base price of 400, just under, I think, 396, which meant with the 225 on top, we averaged £221 a tonne as our sale price. So at 3.4 tonnes a hectare, you know, we're sort of there just over the £2,000 a hectare mark. So, you know, potentially, haven't worked it all out yet and done the costs, but hopefully there's a margin of sort of £200 an acre, £500 a hectare in there. So that's the reason for choosing that over a conventional variety, because at those sort of yields, if we were only getting £400 a tonne plus a bit of oils, the difference in output is, you know, sort of £400 a hectare. So that's why we chose to go down the hyaluronic acid oilseed rape crop for that reason, really.
Baled the straw as well?
Yeah,
we don't usually bale the straw?
Yeah, we baled the straw as well.
We don't usually do that.
We don't usually do that, to be fair, but we got a good contract of £70 a tonne ex-field from Sundown Products, which is David Cubitt, which has all gone as well. And later on, you know, in our next video, we'll show you us ripping that ground up with the new Torano which is being delivered this week, which my brother will be the man on the seat for that.
So as I was saying, the 620 Quadtrack, we got that in September 2022. we bought that purely for the power because of the land we farm. We were hiring Cat Challenger crawlers from Ian Holgrave, and to be fair, they've done a job for us for a period of time. But trouble is with Challengers is they're almost like a two-wheel drive tractor. And when this sort of land got a bit wet on top, it just went greasy, and then basically it was trying to drive on one track and you couldn't keep in a straight line. And we were losing days cultivating. And then, yeah, that's why we went to the Quadtrack. Obviously they've got diff lock and the power to the ground. Yeah, across the four tracks is, yeah, unbelievable. And also the GPS system on it, we can do everything accurately. We can subsoil at 50 centimetre spacings and we know it's going to be right for sugar beet. And yeah, just, yeah, the overall round tractor itself is, yeah, it's brilliant. And also we get 5,000 hours warranty with it. We don't put it on the road either. We low loader it everywhere because we save the track, save the gearbox. Calibrate it once a week, well, once maybe twice a week for the gearbox. We try and look after it because after all it is an expensive tractor and you've got to do these sort of things to keep things going.
Try not to run the Quadtrack long distances on roads, and we've got our own lorries and low loader and things, and we mainly use the lorries for carting digestate, low loadering, you know, the Quadtrack's about, and other bits of equipment, is because of these idlers. They're all got rubber on, and when they get excess heat in, they peel off, and they're very expensive to change and causes a lot of downtime. I know a lot of people would say it's a big expense with moving it with the low loader, but generally if we can time it, we'll try and move the low loader either later on in the evening with the lorry or first thing in the morning to save on downtime, you know, of losing output. And the other thing is as well to save on track wear, because every track now is about £8,000 a corner. So if we can try and limit the road work, we're saving the tracks. And also with the warranty, the servicing, I know people will probably comment that we've still got it running now, but you know, you're not wasting warranty hours running on the road and all of that, even though it is capable of doing 40 kilometres an hour. Also, when we move, somebody then hasn't got to go and pick the driver up to bring them back to pick a vehicle up, because we've only got two Quadtracks. You've got a smaller one and this one. When you move it on a lorry, the operator's then coming behind in their vehicle, truck, you know, everything's there, diesel, Bowser, everything. So you all move at once, if you know what I mean. Like Will was saying, the new AFS Connect GPS has been a massive game changer in the Quadtracks, because literally mapping out fields, getting your ABs lines where you want, and the repeatability with the RTK net, RTK farming system, and we run on SIM cards, not on base stations, because we run over quite a lot of different varied counties and areas. We can't always rely on having a base station nearby, so we chose to go down the SIM card route, which is like what we've got in all our Fendt tractors as well as the Quadtracks. The reason we wanted to start doing the YouTube channel was just to give an insight to people on what we do, and also to try and help to employ people in the future, get the right staff here, and to generate jobs and longevity in the company for people with the right sort of attitude that we're looking for, that are interested, really. Yeah.
He's just stolen everything that I was going to say.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Well, just say about young people now.
Yeah. And also just
Talk about stealing, you stole my squash.
That's mine.
Yeah.
That is.
Yeah.
That is fine.
Go on, carry on. You dribbler.
No, and also I think it'd be
Sponsored by Costa.
I think it'd be I think it'd be good just for the younger generation to see. I personally don't think there's enough young people in farming. I was fairly fortunate because I grew up on a farm with my dad, so did Tom, and that's all I've known since I was like 13 years old, when you was legally allowed to drive a tractor. And it just, I don't know, there just don't seem to be as many people. I probably wouldn't notice it as much as what Tom would, because there's like 12 years difference with us. And it's, yeah, I think it's just getting to the point where good labour's getting hard, but I just think that people need to understand why we do what we do, and we're very particular on sort of the fine details. I've mainly learned that from my dad and just experience, really. I'm 24 now, and I started when I was 13, and every single year, every single day, I'm learning something different. And you get these young lads who say they're interested, then you get them actually working and involved, and it can either go one or two ways, really. They can either be excellent or don't want to do it, not interested, or
that is the truth. Yeah,
can't cope with the hours, if you know what I mean. And
right.
like, don't get me wrong, we all get tired, but at the end of the day, it's job's got to get done.
But it's also, isn't it? It's like trying to show the public what it's actually about. A bit like, you know, Clarkson's farm, what it's done for farming. I mean, it's been mega, isn't it?
And most of my friends, they didn't have a clue about farming, and they were like, "Oh, what have you been up to today?" Then I tell them what I've been up to. They would not have a Scooby what's going on, and if you actually show them, like, they wouldn't know what we're doing there if they drove past, and it'd probably be, if they actually was interested in seeing what I was doing day to day, they just think we're sitting in a tractor going up and down, which generally we are when it's going well, but I've just been in that field there, and I've probably got out 20 times kicking out bits of straw and odd little bits of laid wheat that we've got out there. And
yeah, it's not all rosy, is it?
No,
we have our fair share of problems. Like
it's
today, the boys are in the yard, aren't they, fixing a boom on a Samson tanker, just where one of the hinges has given way. You know, there's always problems to deal with and everything, and it's just trying to get your efficiencies right, and you're always striving to do better, if you know what I mean. Yeah, and it's trying to get people's understanding of the cost of things that are going on. It's like this year we're putting 160 hectares of rape in, and just the seed alone's 10 grand to plant 400 acres. You know, and that's a higher rusic acid, isn't it? You know, seed that we're putting in, just because it's higher value than your normal double lows. Yeah, and it's just really to give everybody, you know, a bit of an insight into what we're about, what we do, what we're trying to achieve, what we want to achieve, and everything like that. Really, what kit we have, why we have the kit,
pros and cons of the kit.
Yeah.
Mistakes are made in the past on kit, and what we've now realised now, and that's what I mean. Every day's a education day, and I always say, if you're on the job, do a proper job.
Yeah, and it's also when you change kit, why we change kit, why we have warranties, you know, costs of running tractors per hour, tractors that you use for certain jobs over other jobs because, you know, of the cost of doing that job, for instance. Yeah, and as videos go on, we'll explain everything we do, where we come from, the yards we've got. You get an interview with, you know, we'll introduce the team, see what everyone's up to and about, you know, go through the, you know, the haulage, the digest state, and then I've got another company that's a feedstock company that runs alongside Pretoria Energy called Genesis Biomass, where I've got two business partners in that who own Pretoria Energy, in Richard Lee and Stephen Ripley. And so I took my straw business out of Coxalls, the straw side of it, Element, and put it in with those because the scope and what they wanted to achieve was a lot bigger than what I was ever going to do on my own, and it had the right funding and everything. So, you know, later on we'll talk about that as well, and what we're trying to achieve there and how it's going and where we've gone wrong and things that, you know, not happy farmers still got straw on their farms from last year, the year before, and it's trying to manage expectations, you know, delays in the plant build and everything. But the only thing I can say is everyone has been paid for their straw, and that's the main objective. Yes, they might still have a scruffy stack on the farm, but at the end of the day, everyone has problems, and it's just managing those sort of situations, really, if you know what I mean.
And every year you're always trying to improve on all aspects of farming.
Yeah. And the biggest thing with running a business, and I don't know whether people would agree with me, is managing everybody's different personalities, if you know what I mean. Like Will, for instance, he tends to have a period once a month, like Dad. And then, yeah, no, it's just managing different personalities and everybody's expectations of stuff, if you know what I mean, and what they want out of life as well. And the one thing I've learned is, like, you know, because it's my business, I work every hour, every day. Do you know what I mean? And one day will become a partner when we're a bit more financially stable. At the moment, I'll take all the risk on my own shoulders, if you know what I mean. And my wife and daughter, Winnie, who's only 10 months old, but, you know, they're obviously behind me and very grateful for what, you know, they allow me to do, if you know what I mean. Not that Winnie understands, but, you know, I don't really see them a massive amount because of what we've got going on and everything.
Future chief, Winnie, isn't she?
Yeah, potentially. Who knows? Who knows? Yeah, you'll meet Winnie one day as well, you know, Daddy's little helper, High-Vis. So yeah, no, and that's really why we wanted to do the YouTube. You know, some people are doing a cracking job of it. You know, Tom Pemberton, Ollie Blogs, James Peck. You know, I think they're all fantastic in their own sort of way. And you know, we've got a few little aspects, haven't we? Like with the digestate and that. Well, none of them do that, do they? No. Admittedly, we do contract farming and rent ground and bits and pieces like James Peck and that, but then we've got the baling, you know, our own baling side. Then, you know, we've got a haulage side to the business, but James concentrates on, you know, grain and stuff, doesn't he, and what he does on farm, whereas we're doing digestate and providing a service to farmers, you know, within a 50 miles north of London is really where we come up to, you know, and we'll explain all of that and the values of digestate compared to fertilisers. And we've noticed a big difference, haven't we, using digestate, like growing crops and things, haven't we?
Oh, yeah.
You know, yeah, the nutrient values and everything. So, yeah.